Today I'm taking a look at the brand new Undisputed V3, which you can see in the top left corner of my screen. The client is getting released very soon on their official Discord server, which will be linked down in the description below. So do keep in mind that I'm currently on a beta version and the client could be subject to changes. Also, definitely don't forget to use code IT'sMe64 for 15% off on your purchase of Undisputed V3.0. As you can see, I've got it right over here. It is currently applied inside of Minecraft for me. As you can see, this client is external, which means that the GUI is outside of Minecraft, not inside of it, as is with many ghost clients, seeing as that is what Undisputed is. It's a ghost client, and not just any ghost client, it's a pretty good one at that. So we're going to be taking a look at all the utilities that this client has. So as you can see, this client has an auto clicker, velocity, reach, timer, an aimbot, and then some more miscellaneous utilities, as well as a profile tab which contains some really useful things, and we'll take a look at in a second. Anyways, we will start off with the auto clicker over here. Basically, it works as you would expect an auto clicker to. You can set a minimum as well as a maximum amount of clicks per second. Setting these at the same value will obviously give you a constant amount of clicks. The reason why you would want these to differ is because when you hover in between two values, you're less likely to get detected by certain cheat detection systems. Although, of course, if you wrap these up to 20 and 16, you're gonna get kicked anyways, dude. Anyways, for the rest, there is also a whole bunch of other options that this clicker has. First off, you can simply choose to enable or disable this using that slider over there, or you can set a keybind. To do that, simply click, then press any key you want, for example K, and now the keybind of the auto clicker is K. To remove it, you can click on that once again and then press on the escape button. Anyways, I'll set that to K for right now, and as you can see, I can press K to enable or disable it. For the rest, there's also a bunch of options over here. You can choose to avoid menus like your inventory. You can choose to allow it to break blocks or not allow it to break blocks. Then you have a DC and hold option. This is double click and hold. To use the auto clicker, you want to press your left mouse button, hold it down, and that'll have it enabled. And once you let go, the auto clicker will be disabled. In some situations, you might prefer to turn on this option, which means you can't click and hold, but you have to double click and hold for it to enable. For the rest, we also have this jitter option over here. I had it enabled already. You can see it a tiny bit. However, if I ramp this all the way up just like that, you can see exactly what the jitter does. Of course, you don't really have to have that turned on at all. Anyways, for the rest, let's move on to the velocity tab. Velocity is basically how far you get knocked back inside of Minecraft. Maybe slightly unrealistic, but turning both of these down completely, as you can see, will result in me not taking any knockback if this skeleton could shoot. You can see this skeleton is shooting me, but no knockback. Tweak both of those however you like to determine how much knockback you get. So earlier I enabled this using the slider, but of course you can set a keybind for that as well. For the rest, there is also two more options over here to further customize it. Then we can move on to the reach, which is basically how far you can reach inside of Minecraft. Now how this works can be really easily demonstrated with this armor stand. As you can see, I'm spamming my mouse and I can't hit it. However, if I turn this all the way up and of course turn on the reach, then bam, just like that, I hit it. And then if I, for example, turn this all the way down again, I can't hit it anymore. Now I have had people complain or ask before about the fact that reach really can't be turned up that high on clients like this. So reach is one of the most common utilities used on stuff like servers, and it's not that hard to detect. If you get above anything around like 3.25, you're pretty much going to get booted the second you click on your mouse. That effect will only be amplified if you turn it all the way up to 3.5. Having this be able to turn up to 7 really does not have that much practical use, especially not in a ghost client like this one. Anyways, for the rest, of course, for this you can also set a keybind if you wish to do so, as well as access these customization options. Then Undisputed, of course, also has a timer. This allows you to tweak basically how fast in-game time inside of Minecraft happens. You can turn this all the way up to 1.5. Enabling this and turning this up to 1.5, as you can see, everything is going to be sped up. I'm going to be sped up. The sun is going to be sped up. This drowned over here is as well, as you can see right over there. Everything is. You can turn on a randomizer for this, and that'll allow you to set a minimum and a maximum, as was default with the auto clicker. As you can see, this will allow you to set the timer to hover in between two specific values. And for the rest, you can of course also set a keybind. Moving on to the aim tab over here, this is basically sticky aim, and you can use this slider to choose the amplifier at which it basically works. For the rest, you can turn it on over here, or of course you can set a keybind for it, and you can toggle this option to have it only work on your left mouse button. Anyways, I'll turn this on for right now and probably set this to around 0.5, which is quite high, I think. So I have locked and loaded a crossbow, and I have spawned in a completely random sheep over here. So if I move it real quick like this, you're not going to notice anything. However, if you don't move your mouse really quickly, you'll notice that your sensitivity slows down when hovering over the entity. That's basically what this sticky aim does, and makes it easier to go ahead and shoot them. In this More tab, you can enable jump reset, force chords, and phase. Phase is currently still force disabled. Over here, there is also the option to only enable the utilities if the client detects that you are in combat. And there is also the option to turn on auto sprint. This is great. It's not turned on by default, but I highly recommend you do use it. What this basically does is it means that you do not have to double press W. You don't have to hold the sprint key. You're just going to be sprinting by default, which is of course great. And then there is also the option to set a keybind to hide the client. I'll just set this to J as an example. Pressing on J is going to make the entire client despawn. As you can see, it disappears from my taskbar, disappears from on screen. And the great thing is you can simply press on J once again, and the entire thing is going to reappear. Then finally, moving on to this profile area, this place is great. As you can see, it has custom pre-made configurations for a bunch of really big servers. As you can see, there is a whole lot of them there for Zika, Cubecraft, the Hive. It's really great, and this is probably one of the best features of this client. To use these, you can simply click on them, and as you can see, they'll automatically be enabled, which is of course fantastic. Anyways, right now, that was that. Of course, remember to get Undisputed Client through their official Discord server, linked down in the description below. Code IT'SME64 for 15% off. For right now, thank you ever so much for watching, and I do of course hope to see you again in the next one. Bye bye.